Hi everybody, my name is Stu Brackney, Church Farm School graduate, class of 1962, just a few years ago. But anyway, I've been asked to share some comments and feedback from an alumni perspective about the annual Church Farm School pageant, the Christmas pageant. Well, let's see. First of all, as you can see from my background here, the pageant was held in the Chapel of the Atonement, and in that far back area that you see, we would gather behind dark curtains. Never enough room for everybody, but we would actually get dressed in the main building and walk across Route 30 up the hill and hide. Some of us hiding outside. As it turned out, sometimes when it was raining, they'd bring us up in a bus. Now, people ask the question, well, what role did you play? Well, Stu, I started off as a slave, carrying a box of jewels and gold and whatnot with my other slave buddy. And then I moved up. I became the nobleman's wife and the rich man's wife. And then I became the sweet young thing who, walking up the aisle, paused and lifted the lilies to her lips. But most of the jobs of the pageant were a lot of fun. And some people said, well, what are the most favorite jobs? Well, of course, being the priest was seen as a very good job because you're on show the whole time. In addition to being the priest, people wanted to be little brother, but you had to be really young and one of the young ninnies, as we were called back then. And a lot of people wanted to be the king or the knight with his armor carrying up the aisle. The interesting thing about this pageant from our perspective, it's Christmas time. And it's a reminder that money is power, power is money, but it's not everything. And all of these people, the miser, the artist, the rich man, tried to make the chimes ring with their money and their influence, and it didn't work. The chimes never rang. But Pedro, the story of Pedro stopping to help the elderly woman, freezing in the snow, sending his little brother on with a coin to make the chimes ring. And they did. It's a reminder for all of us that we need to care for others, whether it's the woman in the snow or your next door neighbor, or maybe your own child, taking time to care for others.